Good evening or good morning, depending how you want to look at it. Hey, that's good. With basement politics. I want to go over the letter that I received today. Threat number 4 of a lawsuit. Who is threatening to sue me? Also, Yonkers police staying very busy as shootings continue to plague our city. Hello, folks. I wanted to come back on because earlier today, or yesterday, depending how you look at it, I did an episode really quick in the morning and it got deleted somehow. And so I wanted to come on and talk about it. If you're awake and you're joining me, how you doing? I'm Freddie Vasquez, Basement Politics Unfiltered. I wanted to make sure I get this episode up so folks can take a look at it. I was sent a letter. I got the letter walked over to me. Someone said, I think this is for you. And I looked at it. And so I opened it up and it's a cease and desist letter from Zahi Jeris. That's right. His attorney, I think. I don't know. It's poorly done. I've had my attorney send cease and desist letters before, and they definitely were more detailed, more professional looking than this. But I want to share that real quick and show you what it says here. Another threat of lawsuit. This is number 4. Number 4. Check this out. It looks like someone did this on Microsoft Word and just printed it at their home computer. That's what it looks like to me. Dear Mr. Vasquez, I represent Mr. Zahi Jeris. We have been informed that you have been maliciously publishing defamatory, inaccurate, and unfounded information that is damaging to both his personal reputation as well as intentionally interfering with his business. But if you go on the web, online, Google his name, you're going to see this stuff that I'm talking about. He was convicted of it, spent 4 years. I mean, what do you mean? He destroyed and damaged his own reputation. The defamatory statements include, but are not limited to, husband and wife corruption teams, Zahi Jeris and Seda Jeris, are not only scamming the city of Yonkers of taxpayer money, they are also controlling the Yonkers City Council via the city council president and majority leader specifically. That is why they did not pass a slumlord registry. Both husband and wife are slumlords who also have illegal basement apartments, yet the Yonkers Building and Housing does nothing. Why? Zahi can personally call up Sam Borelli, who Zahi has been extorting and blackmailing. However, other sources have also told us an affair between Tasha Diaz and Zahi Jeris at one point. Multiple sources. If you do not cease publishing such statements immediately, Mr. Jeris will be compelled to explore his legal options. Yeah, I'm not going to have been compelled you enough. Right? Listen, this stuff, it's on, you Google his name, it'll come up. I mean, he corrupted the city council president here in the city of Yonkers once before, 2012. Flip-flop. She did a flip-flop on her vote for the Ridge Hill development project. And that's the same thing that the majority leader, Tasha Diaz, has done now on housing. And Zahi, I had a conversation with this man. I spoken to him. I asked him about his influence on Tasha Diaz and the housing vote, right? And that the flip-flop she did on affordable housing. And he said he didn't influence her. He never influences the politicians he works with. He lets them make their own decisions. That's what he said. He's also called Sam Borelli in front of me. He's also said, I'm going to call him. Did it in front of me. That's not a lie, right? And illegal basement apartments, that was actually told to me by a tenant who said, go to Mulberry. They know Seda owns the buildings. They pay her the rent. I'm just telling you what residents of the city of Yonkers, tenants, are saying to me. All right, so I'm not concerned with this. I'm not even, well, actually, I was going to respond to it, but I think I'm going to do it myself. I'm going to respond myself to it, and I'm going to provide links and information and details onto where they can go online. This attorney, hey, and I try to look this attorney up. His website doesn't work for whatever reason. Couldn't really find, it says he's an attorney, it does say he exists, just couldn't find a picture or his website. I don't know what's going on there. So folks, whatever, I just want to make sure I put that up. You speak truth to power. That's what they try to do. They try to intimidate you. They try to scare you because attorneys can be scary, right? People get scared with attorneys, and they know that. And I know that. And I love when they call me, attorneys for whatever reason, and they try to come off as intimidating because they know that a lot of people are scared of attorneys. They don't know. They think they're these smart guys. They know all the law and everything. They're gonna get you jammed up. But that's not always the case, right? And they use that to try to intimidate you. So you just be confident, say what's going on. And so they know now. And I've had to talk to several attorneys who try to call me in that manner. Please stop it. Folks, there was a shooting on South Broadway today on a Beeline bus. Yonkers police have been kept busy today, sirens blaring all over the city. A male was shot. I believe he was a young guy, shot on the Beeline bus here in the city of Yonkers. This is South Side, South Broadway. South Broadway and Ludlow. I'll just fast forward just a little bit. Not sure if you could hear the helicopter flying overhead. And there was a helicopter flying the other morning also here in Yonkers. They were searching for someone. But yeah, someone was shot on that bus that you see there. I believe it was a young individual, young male. I'm not sure how many times. I'm not even sure. I haven't even gotten an update or information on whether or not he's, survived or not. Do you know anything? Did the person die? Is they in the hospital? Do you have any information on the condition of the person that was shot? Anyone out there maybe have some information? On the number 4 bus headed to Getty Square. He's okay. Thank God. Shot 2 times. You look, I was talking earlier today, well, just not long ago, I had an interview with Anthony. I would say Joe DiMaggio. Joe DiMaggio is the baseball player. Anthony DiMaggio, who's a former Yonkers police lieutenant, who's talking about his story after he had an issue with another officer, a detective, a sergeant, and he was fired because that detective sergeant was, tight with the top people, and he knew that. And this, even though lieutenant outranks a sergeant, the sergeant got him fired still, right? So, but we showed videos earlier of an incident in which the whole, started with him where he got into it with this detective sergeant at a crime scene. And I'm showing the video, and it shows a guy walking up to another guy, points a gun to him, to his face, like on video and all that, right? And then he doesn't shoot. I don't know if he tried to shoot. Doesn't look. I don't know if he, pull the trigger. Can't really tell. It didn't look like it to me, but maybe. And the gun just jammed. It looked like some old gun that was buried in mud somewhere. And eventually they get into a fight, and they start jumping the guy. And the guy with the gun like hits another dude 3 times in the head. He pistol whips him, and he hits him so hard that the gun flies across the store. This is in a bodega on Valentine. Young guys. And I don't understand. Like, look, I grew up in the hood. I grew up on Buena Vista, Riverdale. I know about the 2 Guns Up, Strip Boys. If you guys are familiar with that stuff back in the day, right? Hash Kings was another, no, they're the good rappers also. They did a lot of music too. And a lot of these guys was very talented. A lot of them did music, but also a lot of them were caught up in the streets. And I don't understand what, what is so attractive and appealing to a lifestyle like that where, you're almost certain to go to jail, maybe end up dead, God forbid. I mean, you look at it, it's like they're saying, please take me to jail. I want to go to jail. I mean, you're doing this in a store with cameras. You got a gun. Then they run off and they leave the gun there in the store, right? And so I don't understand the young people. Why are you doing this with your lives? I mean, and I get it. It's not easy. I know. Trust me. I didn't have it easy. I know. So I know it's very difficult, and I know there's so much that's lacking. But we have to make the conscious effort to be the change that we want. Right? It starts with us. It starts with our in here, and then the rest will follow. Right? When you start to put yourself in situations that are productive and positive for you, that will lead you to success and up out the hood. Trust me, I grew up in the hood. I grew up very poor. I was born in a prison. 8 months I spent there as a baby. My dad couldn't handle, take care of me because he was, he had his own issues. And my grandmother was there for me, couldn't speak English. So it was rough for us, we're on welfare and all that stuff. But, you have to make a conscious effort. And I want to see more young people make that conscious effort, man. And that lifestyle is not good, man. It's not good, man. It's going to end up getting you killed or in jail. And I've seen that happen so many times to guys that I know, I knew, because some of them are no longer here, right? And it's sad, man, because a lot of them have really talent. A lot of them smart guys that just, got caught up in unfortunate situations, man. So we got to change that, especially, Black and Hispanics. We have to really change that because we have a high rate of incarceration and dying at a young age. Us men, the men, that's one of the biggest issues in our community is the lack of, positive male role models. And so we have to break that cycle so we could become that positive male role model. So anybody out there is interested, check out, if you're interested in hip hop and stuff, check out Turk from Hot Boys. I just want to put that out there to the young guys. He's a rapper, he's still rapping stuff, but he spent a lot of time in jail. And, he really came out with a different outlook on life. And I like a lot of what he's saying. I think a lot of the young people should listen to him. But I want to go also to that Anthony DiMaggio. And, he's saying a lot there. Anthony DiMaggio, a lot of people like the interview. People have, requested him, asked me when is he coming back on. He gets a lot of views, right? And so I just want to say that, while I do believe a lot of what he's saying, Anthony DiMaggio, and I definitely support him. And look at what I've seen myself here with politics and everything else, I believe what he's saying happened, right? I do believe it. But I do want to make sure that I make it very clear. And I think he liked to have this made very clear as well, that, we definitely support the Yonkers Police Department. They have definitely a tough job. They are a great police department, and, this rising crime, it is happening all over the country, but I still don't want to, make that as, an excuse. We still continue doing the great job you're doing, continue hitting hard. And we as the community have to help. We have to help the police also, right? We have to help the police, and we want to change our communities. We have to be more forthcoming and be that change also that we want to see in the community as well. And so I want to make sure we say that we support the police. And, the story that he's telling involves individuals, many of them have since retired from the police department. He wants to share his story, right? And so, we don't want to disrespect or offend anyone by telling, by having him share his story on the podcast. And so, that's not our goal. And so, we have respect for everyone. And I'm sure he would say the same thing I'd like to say. I mean, obviously he has personal things with certain individuals, but that's their business, But for, the most part, in general, as a whole, the Yonkers Police Department do a great job. Shout out to you guys. I appreciate you. I can definitely say that myself, and continue doing a good job. There's a lot of stuff going on out there, and it's a lot of young kids. It's a lot of young kids, man. All right. They need to open up school gym for these kids to get them off the street. I agree. And there's so much that they need to do, and they don't do it. And it's already had made me start thinking that they don't care about the kids. And I was talking to a parent about this just yesterday. A mom, right? She has a couple of kids here in the Yonkers Public School. And she was just saying how it doesn't seem like people really care about the kids. It's not all, but some people just really don't make an effort. She was talking about a situation that she had experienced at her children's school. And people are calling me and telling me everything. If I put everything on the podcast, forget it, I will have so many different things. But but that's something that definitely we have to. I like to point out the education, the children. What are we doing for the kids? What are we providing for them? Right? What are we doing? And you can open up a center, but you have to do things that engage them. You have to have someone there actively creating things, and you can't just rely on just anyone. Right? You have to be able to vet people who are going to, come in here and really do a good job because they have ideas. They have, the ability, right, to do this. Maybe even the resources, some resources. I mean, you guys got to provide a lot of resources too, some funding, right? But who wants to see this and genuinely wants to see, people do well, the kids especially do well. And you guys got to look for those genuine partnerships because Look what happened. How long have they been giving money to the Nepperhan Community Center, right? I'm not trying to pick on anyone. This is just a point I'm trying to make. How long have they been giving money to this organization? And look what's going on, right? Look what's going on. Issues with money, and what impact has it truly made in the community? What are the results? What are the return on investment for the money? If you guys get money, you get funding, you constantly give it to, a certain place. What's the return on that investment? What? What are we saying? Right? I mean, just continue to give money. So that's kind of been some of my issue with us, I guess not any specific organizations, but just the way the politicians allocate money and how they, seek to do things in the community with organizations that are out there, right? They like purposely ignore certain people for their own. It's unbelievable. Plus they get arrested. They arrested two guys. Oh, they arrested two guys for that shooting. That's unbelievable, man. So I'm just hoping that, I try to get that message out to young people. It's not easy, and some people say a lot of negative things. Some people say, oh, it does. It starts at home. It does. I agree 100%. But I don't want to just say, oh, well, it starts at home. Oh, well, screw it. That's what they want. They do it to themselves. It's their parents' responsibility. All that, it may be true, right? But baby, I can't live with that. I can't live with that. I can't subscribe to that. I can't live with that. I feel like we must do something, right? It does take a village. And that's something that many people often say, but I don't know how, much they're practicing that, right? And that's all I'm saying. And I'm looking to do some things. So for people who say, well, what are you doing? Well, I'm looking to get help. I'm on the phone with people. And I can show you the call, text messages, calls, emails. I'm reaching out. You got to reach back or follow through, because they do, but they don't follow through, right? It's like, I don't know. Do you really want to do this or not? What's going on here? Folks, but yeah, so I wanted to come on and talk about that letter specifically. Don't be afraid. That's a scare tactic. As more people start coming out, speaking out. Don't be afraid of that scare tactics. Hey, Jairus, come on. Really? I mean, Google this guy. I mean, his name is synonymous with corruption. I don't get why that, and it's funny. I just think it's funny. I'm gonna actually respond to it myself. I think it's very, very funny. This is what it is. Someone created this. Please, it's not me. I don't know who did this, but I'm very flattered that people would take the time out to put this much effort and thought into doing something that they hope will impact me in some way or another. They spell prodigy wrong, maybe. I don't know, but they really look, WW, they try to use my little prodigy business. You see what I'm saying? This is what they're doing. I mean, listen, granted, I may be speaking about political, individuals in politics, elected officials, but is this how you respond? I'm just saying. I'm the guy that does the podcast. And listen, I'm questioning you about what you're doing, right? In your jobs. And that should be. We should all question them. We should always question them. But this is what I get. I don't know who did this, but apparently, I mean, has to be someone connected to the officials. I mean, that's what I really talk about, right? And so they're going around commenting on different pages, like the Yonkers Voice. Oh, look, it's the Yonkers Voice. So is the Yonkers Voice involved with this? I don't know. So this is Wilson Kimball. As the city's economic development continues to flourish, but what do you guys think? Is it flourishing? I mean, are you guys excited about this? And experience as Wilson's expertise and experience as president of the Municipal Housing Authority for the city of Yonkers will bring unlimited possibilities to better grow our community and all residents within. How so? She's head of municipal housing. People are complaining because they were like, taken off the waiting list. They did this whole lottery thing and reshuffled everyone. They're not really building any more affordable housing. They're actually building a couple, but they're seniors affordable housing. And why is it that all these developments have no more than 2 bedrooms? There's a lot of families that need affordable housing. So why are all these developments only 2 bedrooms? You guys didn't notice that? Studio, 1 and 2 bedrooms. And 1 bedroom, I think, is usually the largest, the more amount that they have of the units. Why? There's families that need affordable housing. And how many seniors versus families that are in need of affordable housing? I'm not saying we got to forget the seniors, please. God forgive me. I'm not saying that, right? But I mean, what are the where the numbers at? Where's the data? Right? Where's the need really, most at? How do we, address that? So he's going around, whoever created this page, and but congratulations, Wilson. We love you. Fredo Vasquez. This is unbelievable. I'm flattered. I really am. I mean, all celebrities, right? And famous people have people that do negative things like this. They take the time and go out of their way, right? And post about them and stuff like that, right? All press is good press, right? Unless you're a politician. All press is good press, right? So I don't mind it. I got thick skin. I think it's funny. We grew up, and you grew up in Yonkers or grew up in New York. You grew up kind of, you called it chopping. I don't know if you guys ever remember that, heard that word chop. We used to chop on each other. We grew up talking crap about each other, talking smack, however you want to do it, right? We used to do it all day long in school. So I'm game all day, guys. I'm game all day. I think it's funny. Thank you. I appreciate it. I'm very flattered by it. But yeah, and check out this. If you haven't seen the Mike Cater interview, make sure you. Yeah. Thank you. That was supposed to be the intro for my interview with Mike Cater, but it never, I didn't get it in time to download or whatever. Something happened. Yeah, never works out the way you want. I got other things going on. Yes, they are building a senior building on McLean Avenue where Pizza Barn used to be. Oh, that's why it burned down. Why did I not think of that? They made. Oh no, no, not, I'm not. I'm sorry. Wait, and I'm thinking of the other pizza place on Yonkers Avenue. I'm lying. My bad. McLean Avenue, where Pizza Barn. So they took Pizza Barn out. What's happened? I didn't even know it was gone. They made all the businesses close their doors there. You see what I'm saying, folks? Pizza Barn. There was a mechanic, a auto body shop, and maybe a tire place also. And they're putting senior living there, right? And they're doing also a huge senior living building on Warburton. It's going to encompass both Woodworth and Warburton. It's going to be a block or whatever. So they're doing senior. That's what I mean. I mean, there's a lot of families. 75% of the student body in the city of Yonkers public schools are living at or below the poverty line. That's families. So I don't know. I don't get it. So folks, do they not want the families here anymore, right? So that's just what I'm saying. And who killed the affordable housing ordinance? Our city council. They didn't do a good job. They were supposed to get that passed, folks. So when people say, Freddie, why you go after Tasha Diaz, or someone said I was obsessed with her, I was stalking. No, I'm not. She's the majority leader, okay? And she did something that I find very suspicious. It reminds me of Ridge Hill. I mean, everything is the same except it's a different majority leader. But the politicians always change. The people behind the scene remain the same. That's how it works, right? So it's better to be behind the scene instead of getting voted and elected, because you'll never be voted out if you're behind the scenes. Yes, Pizza Bar moved over by Yonkers Raceway. So anyone who likes Pizza Bar, it's over by Yonkers Raceway now. So anyway, so that's why I speak about her, because and listen, I talk about the city council president, right? I talked about John Rubo. We know about John Rubo, right? I mean, I like John Rubo. I think he's when I see him in person, we always say hello. Not a bad guy, but John, come on, I just called it out. That's all. It's not personal, John. It's just I called it out. I mean, just saying, what's this? What's up with John? Check out what I found. A perfect solution, John Rubo Inc. What is that? I'm just saying, John. What is that? What do you guys do there? Can I come by and do an interview on your business? Just a perfect solution, John Rubo Inc. What do you guys do there? It's a credit card processing company. How do you I'm just interested in that business. Maybe I want to get into it, right? How much you guys charge for processing credit cards and transactions and debit cards? See, I just want to know. I want to be friends. I find that curious, John. That's all. No big deal, right? And I say about the city council president, I mean, Lakeisha Collins Bellamy, I thought we were friends until you guys did that whole child porn thing. In my opinion, and based on the information that I received, I mean, it was very suspicious. Kind of like that thing you did where you sent that FOIA request the same day that the email was sent to Mike Cater, from the female staff who accused him of creating a hostile work environment for women, right? It's like you knew you had like this psychic ability. I sense an email is going to Mike Cater by one of his female staff. I'm going to FOIA it. How did you know? I mean, does that not does no one else find that very curious? Like, how did she know? Anybody else? She did. How did you know? So, so it's kind of like things. How did you know about the porn thing? How did your aide know? Why is she talking about it? Why is she saying I'm going to get arrested for it before anybody else really knowing about it? Come on. You guys are crazy, yo. And this is how our politics operates here in the city of Yonkers. And that is why I'm speaking about it, right? And that is why I show you that page that they created. That this is horrible. Like that. This is how our politics operates. It's really a joke. It's a laughing matter, but it needs to be that way because that's what puppets are, right? So our elected officials, for the most part, are puppets, right? They're being controlled by the wizard behind the veil, the wizard that we often don't see, the wizard that I speak about, who has now threatened to, seek legal options if I continue, right? He will be compelled to explore legal options. Why? What business am I hurting? By the way, Zahi. Oh, does no one in politics want to be around you as I continue to talk about your corrupt ways? Is that what it is? I'm just saying. Hey, listen, you don't like it, then guy shouldn't have messed with me, right? Shouldn't have woke a sleeping giant up. Yeah, that's right. Because it's not over yet. We're just getting started. We are just getting warmed up. Okay, this is the pregame, guys. Pregame, right? We're pre-gaming here, man, tailgating. So, hang tight. And I see what's happening here. And there's this whole divide within the Jordanian community as Nader Sayegh makes a push for mayor possibly, or to generate enough leverage to demand where he wants to be in the coming years. What's going on there? Because that's very important to focus on, right? So Caters, you have Zahi Jeris, you have Nader Sayegh. They have a huge voting block. Then you have Dr. Rabadi, whose name comes up a lot, right? He recently bought a church or something like that. They're saying that he's looking to create a voting block. What's a voting block? Well, that's really like a group of individuals that will vote the way that you want, right? As the leader of this voting block, right? And you influence them, say, hey, this is the person I think we should be voting for. And everyone that's with you is going to vote that way. And so the more people you have in your voting block, the more influence you have, the more you get from certain individuals, right? That's what it's all about. So that's why I tell certain groups like the Latinos that we need to get together and we have to peep those Latinos who work with certain individuals to keep us divided, right? That's why they did that whole Mexican parade, thing there, Independence Day parade on Main Street, right? And then they had the Puerto Rican Day parade, right? And that's why they didn't want to take out Puerto Rican from it, right? Because they wanted to cause that division. Because it was the Hispanic Day parade was supposed to be for all Hispanics in Yonkers. Because we have so many different, diverse. I mean, how can you do I guess you can if we want to, right? We can do a lot of parades. But the idea that I spoke with certain, prominent Hispanics in the city of Yonkers was to do something where we can highlight each, group of Hispanics, Mexicans, Dominicans, Puerto Ricans, Ecuadorians, El Salvador, Guatemalans, and so forth and so on, right? But instead they put Puerto Rican, then they put Hispanic, and that was to create the division because then it left some people out. And then I noticed, and I don't know if you guys did, that they didn't really sell a lot of flags for other countries. It was mostly Dominican and Puerto Rican flags. Why? Because our elite Hispanics are mostly Dominican and Puerto Rican, but there are some Mexicans also. But that's the trick, right? As long as they benefit, they don't care. If they benefit from their own people being divided, then so be it, right? And so we must see that and come together. But then we must also join other people who are, excuse me, I almost cursed, who are really fed up here with everything that's going on. And there will be a huge voter block, right? To really make some real change. And so that's what I'm hoping for this coming year. About to hit the 30-minute mark, so I'm up out of here because it's already late. And so 2023 is an important year. I need everyone to come out and vote for something different, or we're going to get more of the same. unless you're happy with it, maybe you're living it up. I don't know. Maybe the luxury developments coming in as your style and you're in there enjoying it. You want to see certain elements out. I guess, you don't care if the certain people get pushed out. You don't have kids, so you don't care about the Yonkers public schools, right? Guess if that's you, whatever. But I don't know if that's many people. So for those that's not you and you are ready to see change, it's time we come out and vote next year. But it's also time we organize. So, I'm going to be putting that out a little bit more. I want to see who really wants to see this happen, who's willing to come out, organize, and, start to be a stronger voice, right? That's really the point of Basement Politics. I'm Freddie Vasquez. This is Basement Politics, Midnight Edition. I had to come on. I don't know what my episode went. I want to show you guys that letter. The love letter I got from Zahi Jerris. Folks, have a good night. Enjoy your Saturday. I won't be on tomorrow, but I will be on Sunday, where I will discuss the man himself, Mr. Nader Sage, our assemblyman for the district, 90th district, who is running for re-election. But that's not what he really wants. He's getting old. He's old. He doesn't want to have to drive up to Albany all the time. He wants to stay here in Yonkers. And his backers want the #1 seat. And that's what they're going for. So they're going after the Spanos. And I think the Spanos are starting to notice. I'm Freddie Vasquez. Join me on Sunday. Have a good night.
You're watching Basement Politics with my guy, Freddie Vasquez.
Freddie wins.
Thank you for watching Basement Politics with my husband, Freddie Vasquez.
Freddie wins.
No!